Okay, this is the top 10 prison breaks, like the craziest ways people have broken out of prison. Let me know in the comments who you thought had the best idea of breaking out of prison. Who had the biggest brain?
Jack Sheppard.
I want to know. Jack Sheppard.
In 1723.
1723. How do you even know he...
In just a span of 1 year in 1724, Sheppard was arrested 5 times and managed to escape.
Escaped 4 out of 5 times. Yo, that's a pretty good ratio there. He's got a good KD.
Bed sheets out of the window. He was also very charismatic and
I guess prisons back then were less secure, I guess. Maybe. I don't even know, to be honest.
And the locks were stronger, but they didn't hold Sheppard back.
Oh, no.
Eventually,
the locks were stronger, actually.
Hung in November.
Oh, yeah, that's a good way to not let him ever escape again.
Hanging prevented his friends from retrieving his body so they could take him to a doctor to be revived. Yes,
bro, imagine.
Had an escape plan
imagine escaping your death. Like, that would be nuts. You would be the ultimate.
He is known as one of the most notorious bank robbers.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. He and his gang went on a robbery spree in the Midwest, robbing banks and even a few police stations.
And they went crazy.
He was eventually put into prison in January 1934 in the escape-proof Lake County Jail in
Escape-proof,
Indiana.
So no one's gonna get out of that.
3rd, 1934, Dillinger and an inmate used a fake gun carved out of wood and painted with shoe polish and forced his way out of prison.
What?
Not to mention, he stole the sheriff's new V8 Ford as his
No, not a Ford, bro.
Freedom did
They're like the new cars back then.
Dillinger was shot dead by the FBI a year later.
Oh yeah, that's what you get, I guess.
And John and Clarence Anglin. Alcatraz was known as one of the most isolated prisons in the world, and it was considered to be impossible.
How do you even escape?
As it was
like, maybe you could escape that, but then how do you even get off there?
11th, 1962.
Unless your boy's got a boat for you or something.
Anglin and Clarence Anglin devised an ingenious plan to escape from the rock. Over the course of a year, the 3 inmates used tools to dig a tunnel in the adjacent walls that led into an unused service corridor. Then they climbed a ventilation shaft to the roof. Then they made a raft out of raincoats and contact cement from the prison's supply cache. After filling the raft with air, they left Alcatraz around 10 p.m.
That's
to make
insane.
It seem like they were still in their cells, the inmates made fake heads out of hair, soap, and toilet paper so the guards would think they were sleeping.
No way.
It wasn't until the next morning when the guards realized.
No way.
Morris
they just finessed them like that.
Found or heard from again. The FBI investigated for 17 years before concluding the 3 men likely drowned.
Damn, mate, they could just be living life right now. We'll never know.
The name probably sounds familiar, as Leonardo DiCaprio played Frank Abagnale in the movie Catch Me If You Can. The real-life Frank was a world-renowned con artist. In 1971, U.S. prisons were being evaluated due to numerous civil rights violations. It just so happened that the U.S. Marshal forgot his prison detention papers when Abagnale arrived in Atlanta, Georgia. The guards thought Abagnale was an undercover inspector, and he played it off. He was given special privileges, better meals, and awesome treatment.
What?
Then he got his friend Gene Sebring to doctor business cards to make it look like they were from the government.
No.
Posing as Abagnale's fiancée, she slipped him both cards.
No.
Himself and the other for a fake FBI agent whose number went to a payphone in Atlanta that was picked up by Sebring.
You're trolling
Abagnale
me.
Put on a story of how he needed to get in touch with the FBI, offered both cards to the guards, and arranged for Sebring to pick him up from the front door of the prison. Meanwhile, the guards were patting themselves on the back, thinking that they weren't fooled by the faux prison inspector. MOUNTJOY.
What? How does that work? How do you just... I don't even know, bro.
Members of the Provisional Irish Republican Army, J.B. O'Hagan, Seamus Toomey, and Kevin Mallon, had an escape worthy of a scene from a movie. While serving time at Mountjoy Prison, the IRA was making plans to bust out their 3 members. They hijacked an Alouette 2 helicopter from a town called Stradbally in Count Leash, Ireland.
That's this is...
IRA forced the pilot to fly to the prison and land in the exercise yard. From there, the helicopter flew to Baldoyle, where the men got into a car and headed to Dublin. The escape was seen as an embarrassment to the Irish prison system, and a song was even written about it.
They stole a helicopter. That is crazy. Oh, guys, and by the way, of course, don't do dumb stuff. And don't get yourself in prison, please, you know. Stay safe, everyone.
Walked out the Parkhurst prison in the United Kingdom. They worked in the prison's sheet metal shop and managed to make all the tools they needed for their escape.
Bro, you're like essentially giving it to them.
5-foot steel ladder to help them scale the fence, as well as
where do you hide that?
That could unlock every door in the prison.
And how do you make a key exactly?
They were able to carve the key out from memory after seeing a guard's key. They also
after memory.
They unlocked the back door of the gym, cut a hole in the inner gate, and scaled the outer fence.
Bro, that's crazy.
4 days later, hiding in a shed, and they were trying to plot out a plan to steal an airplane.
I mean, at that point, you've escaped prison. It's just like
7 inmates forced their
go all
way
in.
out of the John B. Connolly unit in Kennedy, Texas, which was a maximum security prison. The men managed to overpower 2 guards and 8 maintenance men, stole their clothes, keys to a truck, and locked them in a utility closet. Led by 30-year-old George Rivas, the group was able to fool several other guards into giving them their weapons before tying them up and escaping in the truck.
They've got weapons now, mate. They're pretty much invincible, bro.
San Antonio and Dallas, plus killing an officer in Irving, Texas.
Alright, that's not good.
And then making their way into Colorado before they were finally captured.
Doing
One
all of
them
that.
Committed suicide before being recaptured, and the rest were taken back to the prison.
They did all of that just to get put back in. Like, what's even the point?
In 2012, T.J. Lane killed 3 of his classmates in a school shooting and was sentenced to serve 3 life sentences at the Allen
How is this kid getting out?
in Lima, Ohio. In September 9th, 2014, Lane, along with convicted murderer Lindsay Bruce and convicted kidnapper Clifford Opperud, used a homemade ladder to scale the walls to climb on top.
Yeah. This is a bit different, you know. It's different when it's like a robber, you know, trying to escape out of a bank because, you know, they've just robbed something. It's not as bad as someone actually murdering someone. These people don't deserve anything else, bro.
The 3 were able to build the ladder after breaking into a locked crawl space and finding their materials there. Lane and the other inmates were found within 9 hours of their escape. Choi Gap-bok. In September 2012, 50-year-old Choi Gap-bok was arrested on suspicion of robbery and then was put into a detention cell at the police station in the city of Daegu.
Yeah, there's no way you're getting
Gap-bok
out of
was a yoga
those.
practitioner of 23 years and had stayed in the jail cell for 5 days. Then, he applied skin ointment on the upper part of his body and managed to escape through the food slot while 3 guards were sleeping. Gap-bok is only 5'4", and the slot was 5.9 inches tall and 17.7 inches wide.
There's no way you're getting in that.